Okay, so I have seen videos where ladies have done an unpack with me kind of thing where they got something in the mail and then they unpacked it and you got to share in the excitement of them seeing it for the first time. Well, I thought I would do something a little bit different, and instead I would do a what sort of goodies are in the brown paper sack. It clinks pretty awesome, doesn't it? So a little bit different. What this is about is my mama has been dealing in silver and silver plate for a long time. And she and I would go to some of the junk ranches and fairs and things around, and she would sell it so that she could keep the pieces that she liked the best. Because, I mean, isn't that really what selling's about, is to get to keep the really cool stuff that you like. And last fall, she was starting to get a little bit tired of it. There's a lot of packing and unpacking and so much polishing. And then the coronavirus came and lots of the fairs were closed and things like that. And she just thought, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm just kind of tired of it. So we were talking about it, and she said she might just sell it as all one lump lot or something like that. And I said, oh my goodness, there are a lot of things in there that if you're just going to sell it off in one big old lump, I would like to buy. And she said, oh, good night. Like, I would make you buy it, being a mama like she is. I mean, don't mamas just give goodies to their babies? Okay, so we sat down and we had such a fun time. We poured it out and we dug through it all. And this is the bag of goodies that she gave me. And honestly, she has boxes more left. But these are the things that I got. And they're not necessarily the best, and they're not the most expensive. That's not the way I pick things. I pick things that make my heart go pit-pat. I love monograms. I love Art Nouveau. I like a little bit of Art Deco. I love Victorian aesthetic. You can see I kind of like everything. So what I was going to do, I mean, a lot of these things still have the price tag still on them. I was just going to go through here and dig some of these out and let you see what cool stuff I got from my mama. So I'm going to start off with these. I don't know if you can see them laid out on the table or not. That is a beautiful serving spoon. Isn't that lovely? And I like that even on the back it's pretty. So that's just a beautiful serving spoon, and you're gonna have to forgive my hands and my fingernails. I've been writing lots of letters, and I've been doing it with my fountain pen, and I had to refill it, and as much ink went on me as the fountain pen. Here's a lovely meat fork. Not super ornate, but I love the hollow handles. That just makes me happy. So there's a meat fork. Here is a pickle tine, or a pickle fork. Look how pointy and wicked, like a little pitchfork those are. And it has a really neat design on the top. In fact, I have some spoons that have the same pattern. So that's neat. And here is another meat fork. Lots of great ornate design on it. I love that right there in the bowl. And the cool thing about silver is people say, oh, well, when are you ever going to use it? All the time. Use it all the time. Just something to give you joy. Now, this is something that I really, really like. This one has a gold wash in the bowl, and all these are tarnished because I told you one of the reasons that she didn't want to do it is all the polishing. But if you could look right there on that handle, maybe like so, it says Louise. So this was Louise's special serving spoon. And look how honking that is. I mean, you could get you a dollop of mashed potatoes with that. I'm telling you. I love old serving spoons because they are meant to serve you some food. There's a price tag on all these down through here. This one is a more delicate serving spoon. It has a shell bottom. But I want you to look at the design on that. That's called aesthetic. And it was a design very popular during the Victorian period. And it was supposed to be a little bit of an influence from Chinese and Oriental art. It was just a little something different from that time period. This is a common pattern that lots of people like to collect. That's the grape pattern. And look how deeply that is impressed in there. Isn't that lovely? But I mean, honestly, can you have enough serving spoons? And with, I do a Monday night family dinner every single week. There's 10 of us, and my 3 boys are 6'7", 6'6", and about 6'4". and they can put away the food. So having big serving spoons is wonderful. This one just has a pretty plain wavy bottom, but it has a lovely patterned handle with all of the pretty flowers and such. And this one is very, very pretty. I like monograms. I know lots of people won't collect things that have monograms, but I like them because I like thinking about who might have had them. And if you find a monogram, Mama has collected lots of different pieces of silver that have the different initials of my boys and then given them to them when they got married, which is fun. This again has the wavy bowl in it, and look at the pretty flowers. This one has a monogram that says H, just an H on the top. And isn't that handle lovely? And then look at the back. Isn't that pretty? So just as beautiful, and has roses on it. Also has a beautiful poppy right there. Such pretty patterns. We've had a lot of spoons that we went through. Now we're gonna have a whole lot of knives. I love butter knives. These are ones that are meant to lay on the table. So this flat part lays down on the table, holds the knife upright. Don't they have a neat pattern to the blade? And here is the handle. Isn't that pretty? And this one says JG on it. Here's another one. And it has a very pretty little design on the side. And has this lovely design on it. And here's just a plain flat one, just an ordinary one that perhaps you would have a holder on a butter dish where it would sit, or you could just lay it flat on the table. Why do I like it? I don't know. It's really, really worn. It doesn't have a very ornate pattern. Some of the finish is gone, but there is absolutely no rhyme or reason to what I like. Sometimes I like it because it's so worn. I like the thought of all of the generations of people's hands that have touched it. So like I said, I don't pick the fanciest and the most expensive. I pick what I like. Here is another serving spoon, and it is gorgeous. It looks like either CP or EP on this one. And look at the shine on that one. That's even after it hasn't been polished for a super long time. And I want you to look at that design in the bowl and then look at the back of the bowl. Look how deeply that is incised. Isn't that glorious? Talk about a scooper. I mean, you could get some corn in that. I love it. People see something like that that's fancy and they think, oh, I would never serve anything that would be fancy enough to go on that. If you eat food, it is fancy enough to go on it. And here is a little ladle. This little ladle is not in the greatest of shape. It has a little bit of tarnish and wear to the bowl, but I love the design on the top. Tell me what that is. It's an iris and an iris bloom. And look, it even has it at the back. Isn't that lovely? And again, ladles. Who does not like gravy or chocolate sauce or something great like that? Okay, here is a beautiful little teaspoon. It has some lovely, looks like wild roses on it. And the bowl says Fairbury. I don't know if that's a place or if it's a family name, but there is that beautiful wild rose, and turn. Then it has the back of the wild rose. Isn't that lovely? And so delicate. I like that a lot. Now we're back to knives again, and this is a set that Mama had, so they're all tied together with a pretty little ribbon. And they are also pretty tarnished, not in the greatest shape, but I will shine them up. Take that price tag off. Mama had really good prices too. There we go. Why I like these, the boys like them also. There's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So these are just little butter knives, but don't they look like scimitars? They look like something, you know, that a pirate or somebody would carry around. I just like that shape. And it almost looks like ocean waves on it even, doesn't it? Really cute. Okay, this is what you would call a sugar shell, and a sugar shell was just a sugar scoop or a sugar spoon. And this one has beautiful thistles on the top of it, and then the thistles on the back, and just that pretty ornate bowl, like that. This one is odd, and the only reason I took it is because it's odd. It's very plain compared to most of my designs that I like, almost an Art Deco style, but look at this. So it sits and it sort of holds itself up with that little foot. I don't know, it wouldn't actually keep the tablecloth from getting dirty because the bottom of the bowl lays against the table. What I am thinking is this was a hanger and it originally went on something as its server. So maybe a sugar bowl, or I've even seen things where there would be a central dessert or something in the middle and then an array of spoons hanging around the outside edge. So I have me a little spoon that I could hang on something. Not super fancy, but fun anyway. And we have a couple more things left. Okay. These two are very cute and I've always liked them. But now that I have a grandbaby, a grandson, my baby Vincent, pull off these price tags. I think they're even sweeter because now I have a grandbaby. Here is a little children's fork and it has a very, very old Mickey on it. I'm thinking 1930s. Isn't that cute? So a little children's fork. And then here is, it's too tarnished to ever use, but this is a little child's spoon and it has Puss in Boots on it. Isn't that cute? So I like those very, very much. And here is a beautiful little ladle, and these smaller ladles would have definitely been for special sauces. Say you had asparagus or something and you wanted to do an anglaise sauce over it, or a chocolate sauce over roasted pears or something like that. How absolutely small and lovely is that? Sit that out so people look at the impression in it. Sit that out so that people could use it. And on the back, this one has a little monogram and it has an L. So this is really fun. And this is something that Mama is very well versed, of course, in these things. You need to be if you are selling them. But we had a time looking this one up. We went through my Grandma Tommy's old books and everything. And what would you think that that is? Isn't that an odd little piece? It's not super fancy, but it obviously has a very definitive purpose. And I'll tell you, during the Victorian era, there was an implement for everything. These are just things that I got from my mama. This time, if you were to go and look in my silverware drawer, I have asparagus tongs and tomato servers, and I have an implement for everything. I have a bonbon scoop. So it's just fun because they had something special for everything, and it made dinner an event instead of just being nourishment for the body. Back to this. This right here is a lemon piercer. So if you had slices of lemon that you might want to squirt over your fish or possibly put in your iced tea, this is your poker for your lemon slice. Isn't that cool? So that's the only one of those that I have. And last, but certainly not least, is this adorable little egg cup. And this little egg cup is shaped like a water lily sitting on top of its leaf. Isn't that so pretty? I love that. And the thing about me is I like to be able to use things, and we don't actually eat eggs, you know, poached, or not poached, what would I say? Soft-boiled eggs that you're going to eat out of this, like say the British or perhaps other people do. We just don't do that. So how am I going to use these? You can sit your little egg cups to the side of a plate and you can put candies in them. You can fill it with water and put flowers in it. You could put a Christmas ornament in it at Christmas. You could artfully do some sort of thing as a name tag and sit in here. You could wrap a tiny gift and sit it in, and you could have one at each person's place. And the only time that I do put an egg in it is at Easter time. I have a bunch of glass ones and I have some more like this, but I want to show you what I do with them at Easter. Here's one that I had in my china cabinet. It's a little glass one, so this is a goose. But I actually take, the water's running out. My chicken eggs, I have Aracanas, and so I have tan and pink and blue and green eggs. But all you have to do is whack the tops of them and pour the yolk out. Use the yolk in your bake, or the egg in your baking, and then let it dry out good, and then fill it with flowers. And so for Easter, you have your little part of an egg and a little flower bouquet sitting at everybody's place setting. Isn't that sweet? There are also a lot of toothpick holders that will have this same cup shape on the top of them, and you can use a toothpick holder as a treat dish or a little vase. So the very fact that all of these things are so exquisite and so lovely and very fancy and things like that doesn't mean that you can't incorporate them onto your table in different and unique ways and still get to use them and enjoy them. And I promise you, if you put things like this out on the table, even if it is roast beef and mashed potatoes and corn, it's going to make people feel pampered and special, and it's just going to give a different feeling to your table. And no, you don't have to do it all the time, but if you do it every now and then, it will not only lift your spirits, but it could lift other people's spirits too and make them realize how much you appreciate them. So I just want to show you my goodies from my beloved Mama. She is so good. And maybe sometime, if you're interested, I will show you the contents of my silver drawer. It's kind of fun. I've got a lot of neat and unique servers and different kinds of things, and I have a very nice collection of, what would I say, aesthetic and animal figurine napkin rings. What I'm trying to say is I have a really good collection of antique napkin rings that are so much fun to use. So I hope that you enjoyed this and that it was kind of fun, because I loved getting to share this with you. If you are interested, I have a blog. It is called MissSamWearsDresses.blogspot.com. I would love to have you come and see me there. And I am also recently on Instagram, and it is also Miss Sam Wears Dresses. So I hope that you have a lovely day, sugar, and bye.